Good afternoon, crafters. We are live. My name is Hannah Roxbury and I am the brand ambassador for Carnation Crafts. So this afternoon we are doing a Facebook Live card tutorial featuring what was originally going to be just featuring the new arrival die set, but if you guys are anything like me when you're crafting, it ends up getting all sorts of things chucked at it. So we are crafting with lots and lots of different collections today. So hopefully it will bring you a few ideas to be crafting with your elements at home as well. I've got the comments up. Everything seems to be working okay. So if you do have any questions as we go along, please feel free to type them up and I will do my level best to answer as many as we can. The Facebook Live tutorials when we do card demonstrations are your time and your chance to ask and chat and just have a little bit of interaction really as we go through the demonstration. I can see lots of people joining us already, so thank you so much for finding the time this afternoon to spend time in my company for a little while. We've got Karen. Pearl's here. She said, wow, I managed to find the video before it had finished this time. Pearl, honestly, we get so many people each week saying, oh, I couldn't find it. We always do Facebook events on our brand page. The page you're viewing this on is our brand page, Carnation Crafts. We always do our live demonstrations there. And if you'd like to hop along to the events section of that page, we always pop up in the events what ones we've got upcoming. If you register your interest, you will have a reminder of when the lives start. It will take you directly to the live as well, or it should do, depending on when Facebook decide to change all their algorithms again. Sophie's here as well as Sharon. Thank you all for joining us. Suzanne's here as well. There's Viv. Georgie's here. She's finally getting to see this live, which is great. It's always nice to have people here joining us. Sam says, hello everyone. Sorry I'm a bit late. You're not late, Sam. We always give it a little while just so that everyone who wants to join us live can find us and do so. So this afternoon, we're going to be taking a look at the new arrival die set. And it's a die set that is incredibly special to me personally, because it's actually the die set that the team at Carnation created as a commemorative die, if you like, to celebrate the birth of Reuben, my little boy, back in July. The die we are talking about is this one here. It's called New Arrival, and of course in true Carnation style it features our gorgeous little mice. We have Mummy Mouse with her beautiful bow lovingly pushing the pram, and in the pram you can just see his tail and his nose. That's Baby Mouse, and Daddy Mouse is following behind with all the accoutrements that go with a newborn baby. Which is just how it is, isn't it? He's got his carry case, he's got his bottles in the bags, he's got his nappy changing bag, he's got all sorts of things going on. So this is the New Arrival die set. This is what's going to feature the card. So sometimes when we do card demonstrations for our Facebook Lives, it features a particular technique or it features a particular card base or something like that. This design has been built around these little mice. So what I've done is come up with a whole sort of concept, if you like, to feature our little mice. Now, something you guys really need to get on board with is the deal of the day. So today's deal of the day features our new arrival. Deal of the day is a special deal, as the name would suggest, for one day only, available on our website for 24 hours. It is in a huge red banner across the top of the page. It's in a red banner on the menu as well, which is fantastic. So super easy to find. If you click on that, we bring you a new and exciting deal every single day. So today's deal features the New Arrival die set with 23% off, which is a fantastic saving on a really pretty and usable die. But we've also snuck in to that deal of the day two extra special things. It's been something we've been requested a lot. People have been asking for the vignettes, so the coloured artwork that goes alongside the dies for New Arrival in two specific colourways. So many people wanted our little New Arrival in colourways where it is more gender neutral. So if you are doing birth announcement cards or congratulation cards and you're not sure of what gender the baby is, or perhaps you're leaving it as a surprise, we have done your vignettes in both yellow and green. They are free today to download from our website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. Head to the banner, head to the deal of the day, and you will find the yellow version, gorgeous, and also the green version available for free for today. Okay, the price then goes back up after today to our usual price for additional colorway vignettes, which is £1. So it's well worth grabbing those whilst they are free to download. Okay, within the vignettes for the new arrival, for both the yellow and the green, you will find them available as your standard vignettes and also your mirror vignettes. Okay, so you've got lots and lots and lots of choice to play with in there. Let's just have a check what people are saying. Liz says, hi Hannah from a very wet island. Do you know what? I think it's the tail end of the hurricane, isn't it? It's so cold and windy here as well. The sun has just come out, but I think it's the first time we've seen the sun in a fair few days here. Alwyn says, just found you. Oh, that's lovely. Welcome along. Viv says, I hope your new arrival is doing well, Hannah. Do you know what, Viv? He is just gorgeous. He's an absolute dream, the bonniest little baby you could ever hope to meet. Diane says, hi Hannah, just made a card using this die. Oh, that's fantastic. Diane, don't forget to share your card makes over on our group, Carnation Crafters, because we always love to see what you guys have been up to with your designs as well. Sam says, I just got my free deal of the day. Thank you. Perfect, Sam. Vera says, just got my free deal of the day. Thank you. Excellent. It's really, really lovely that we can bring you these exciting deals. So I'm not going to do a cutting demo of how to cut the mirrored vignettes because we have video tutorials on those. We have that available on YouTube as well. So if you ever want to see how to cut the vignettes and things, yeah, pop onto YouTube and view those. I think today we'll dedicate the whole thing to designing a concept around these little mice. So let's get started. Let me click on that button and that takes us to our top-down view. And you can see I've already started cutting and playing with the mats and layers for this particular design. Andrea says, sounds interesting. Where and what is it, please? Andrea, I think you possibly might mean where and what is the deal of the day. The deal of the day is your 23% off of your new arrival die set. So if you want to be crafting with the die I am using in today's Facebook Live, that is on special offer on our website. Head over to the website, click on both the banner at the top of the page, banner in the menu. It comes up deal of the day. It's in bright red. You can't really miss it, and that will take you to the deal of the day page. Also included is if you do already have the die set, we have the vignettes in 2 new colorways, in yellow and in green, something we've been asked for over and over again for the new arrival, and these are both free today and they will go up to £1 after the 24 hours is up. Liz says, I'm so excited. I've just heard the great news that I'm going to be a great grandmother. Oh, Liz, congratulations. That is fantastic. There is nothing better than new babies and things like that in the family. So for our design, we're going to start with a really simple basis. So we're going with an 8x8 card blank. My card blank is cut from a nice heavyweight card, so something like 300 GSM, 350 GSM is perfect for this. And we're just using plain, super smooth white for this, okay? Onto this, we're going to start building the mats and layers. Now, I was sort of testing out designs, testing out papers and things like that would work in with this concept. And because we're featuring the green and the yellow as the new vignette, the new artwork for the new arrival die set, I decided to go with the colour palette from the Bundles of Joy collection. So the green I'm using is from the Perfect Papers, and then the backing papers, which are patterned, are the free to download backing papers from Bundles of Joy. I thought it just all tied in with a theme, if you like, of yellows and greens and things like that. So for our first mat and layer, we're using finger lift tape. We've cut the mat and layer just slightly smaller than the 8x8 card blank. That then creates a lovely frame onto which we can start building our other layers. All the way around, I'm taking the carrier sheet of the tape and folding it over the edge to create a tab, which means when I come to stick my mats and layers, I can slide it into place like so. Just check all the way around we are pretty level, like so. It's a little bit wonky. I think I need to adjust the settings on my trimmer or my eyes maybe, and then just take away the tabs. Okay, that's a really easy way of aligning your mats and layers on the backgrounds of your cards. The next layer, as I've already alluded to, is this lovely sort of ditzy polka dot design. Really nice light colour on that. Let me just bring it up to the camera so hopefully, because that's better, you can see it there. It's a kind of a very, very pastel yellow with a white little ditzy all the way through it, which is really, really sweet. Again, I'm using finger lift tape. So the mats and layers and the backgrounds I'm using for this card are all going to be flat, because in the foreground we're going to introduce a little bit of height and dimension. Now, I don't know whether any of you guys follow my Instagram stories over on my Hannah Roxbury Instagram page, but it was a little bit touch and go whether I was actually going to get the prep done for this, because it was all rather rushed. It was my own fault. I got lots and lots of shows to prep for, so yeah, it was one of those where I was like, oh my goodness me, am I going to get this all done in time? But we did it, we got there. And actually sometimes it's quite nice to be crafting with a little bit of pressure, because it takes away that time where we spend sort of faffing about. Do you know what I mean? You know, when you're like, oh, you know, should I do this? Should I do that? It was one of the case of let's just try it and see whether it works. So I can't see any more questions. Oh, I can see a question. Leslie says, is the cat not joining us today? I don't know where Morphe is actually. Morphe's not interested in me anymore. Morphe is all about the baby, which is very sweet, and they are very good together, and he's very gentle with the baby, which is nice. But yeah, he doesn't leave the baby's side, which is very, very sweet. Okay, so onto the background. I wanted to create two distinct areas of design, and the easiest way to break up your designs and sort of section areas, if you like, is with our nesting dies. So here I've cut a circle from that green of the Perfect Papers, and then the other sort of ditzy print version of the yellow polka dot. So the polka dots are yellow and the background is white, which works so nicely with the darker colour behind. That I can slide under a rectangle of the same colourways, like so, to create almost like frames, or almost like areas into which we can start designing our card. So it's just another little way to design things, a little way of introducing aspects, but it's something that's a bit different, okay? You don't normally see me crafting like this, so I wanted to bring you something different. I have just noticed I've got a little bit of sticky from where I've used my repositionable tape. So I'm going to use my little glue eraser and just rub that off. That takes away the sticky, but leaves all the ink on the paper and things like that. And just check around the sides. Yeah, there's no other sticky on there. Sorry, that was really distracting me. Tina says, Hannah, are there any Halloween downloads, please? Oh, this is where it's always difficult when I do Facebook Lives. There is something in the works, and I'm not sure how much more I can say without getting told off. So I don't know whether the bosses and things are watching today, but there is something in the works, but just stay tuned to our social pages for that one, Tina. Hopefully that rather vague answer in some way answers your question. So for the circle in the background, I'm using, again, a finger lift tape just to stick that little nested die cut out. Trying to get that level. Do you know what? I'm really all over the place today. Let's stick that there. Leslie says secrets, yes. Oh, yes, there are secrets. Oh, you lot get me into trouble, honestly. You lot are so naughty. Okay, finger lift tape on there. But this one, I'm not going to stick down, okay? This one, I'm going to turn into a little bit of fun. This is going to be, essentially, a little bit of a reveal. So in the Bundles of Joy collection, the main card shape is the gender reveal card. Oh, it's just called actually the reveal card shape, which is probably a much better way of describing it. You can absolutely use it as a card base. So you've got the outermost die can make your card blanks, or any one of the mats and layers. You then have your traditional mats and layers for your framing devices. You then have your filigree, which will match in with the original filigrees that we've done through the squares and the circles and the rectangle frames. And then we have the sentiment across the top. It's a boy, girl, surprise, exclamation mark, all with the mats and layers. We then have this die here, which is so much fun to use. This is our tear strip die, okay? this is going to be fun. Now, yes, we're saying this is going to be a gender reveal card. It doesn't have to just be used for that. Think about making card designs where you pop your gift card or whatever it is you might be gifting, like tickets, concert tickets, something like that in the card, but they've got to tear the card and pop part of the card to reveal the surprise. I think that's so much fun. So for this one, I've created my 2 little sentiments. On the top, it says "Itza," okay, in the little frame from the middle, and then also the sentiments at the top, mirroring the same colorways that we've used in the background. And then on the inside, I'm going to leave it as a surprise, okay? So it's a little bit of a tease with this one, but it's just a bit of fun. You'll notice I haven't put anything on the back of this yet, because this is going to be my tear strip. So I'm just going to position it and work out where I would like my tear strips to be. Think of it like, you know how we get our parcels from a place named after a rainforest? It has that same sort of perforation line on the die cut itself. So if we align the die across there and then we align it across the bottom, it will create tear strips, so you're allowing you to pull away this section of the card to reveal the underneath. So as we've said, you know, it could be, in this case, like we're doing a little reveal card, but it could also be, you know, tear here to find out where, you know, I'm taking you for a weekend away, or concert tickets or gift vouchers. It makes a little bit more fun of a card, a bit more of an interactive card. So I'm going to line the reveal strip up. It does emboss with an arrow. Let me just bring that up so you can see. There is an arrow embossed into it as well. Not just a plain arrow, it's fancy as well. So it creates a lovely design feature. And I'm going to line it up just to one side of there. So I'm going to do 2 tears on this because I always think it's fun, you know. 2 for the price of 1 is always a lot of fun on your tear strips. And stick that into place. Now I'm using repositionable tape, Scotch tape on this, nice low tack tape, just to keep that in place as I pop it through my die cutting machine. So let me find my cut tidy. Whenever I'm cutting, it doesn't matter what machine I'm using, it doesn't matter what dies I'm using, I will always use a sheet of cut tidy. If you are wondering what cut tidy is, it's almost like a little plastic wallet, a little plastic shim that you can put over your die cuts, and that gives you a little bit more pressure as you run it through the machine. But if you have it as a pocket, so folded in half, wrapped around the back, the die, the paper, and then the top, it works as a little pocket and will catch all the little excess bits from your die cut. So great if you're doing filigree work and things like that. Okay, so that's one cut on the little strip done. Let's just gently take that away. Obviously popping anything through the die cutting machine with your sticky tape does make the sticky tape extra sticky, so we just want to gently peel without tearing the paper. Just gently peel, and you can see there it's popped that tear strip in perfectly. So the arrow is embossed on there as well, and then the tear strip. So whoever receives this card would take that area and pull. It will then pull away the section of the card we're working in to reveal whatever layers are underneath. I like to do 2, just because I think it's a bit of fun with the whole playing around with it. And do you know what's really fun as well? On the dotty paper, it's quite easy to line up, because I know I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines down of the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines up for the dots, and it helps keep things nice and level. So once again, just stick that in place and run it through my die cutting machine there. Normal plate combination for this type of die, obviously refer to your manufacturer's instructions, and through the machine it goes. I wanted to live cut that because we do get a lot of people asking how we use the reveal card shape. It is just as simple as that. When it comes to the tear strip, literally just die cut it where you want the tears to be. That's as easy as that. Now, because I have the sticky on, my little piece of paper is stuck on the inside of my machine. Let's just ease that away. There we go. Okay. And let's take away, again, the die. So that's going to leave us with that double tear strip line. Okay, so again, it makes a feature, it makes a texture on the card, but it's just that added little bit of fun. I'm just going to give this a little bit of rub down because obviously I've had the sticky on there, so I'm just going to use my glue eraser just to remove the glue. It always looks worse before it looks better when it comes to sticky stuff. Just rub that off the edge of the card. Just gently, you don't have to push down or anything like that on these glue erasers. It just comes off like so. And then I fill the sticky on the other side. Just in little circular motions and pushing the glue away. Now, if you are wondering about these glue erasers, I mean, I know them from way back in the day. We used to refer to them as cowgum rubbers. But if you write glue erasers or sticky erasers, they should come up just on a general internet search. And again, both sides, just to make that nice and clean. Do you know what? It's something Carla and I both do when it comes to our demonstrations and things like that. Everything is pristine. We don't sort of go in, you know, with a little bit of a body job. Everything, even down to removing the sticky, just because we want it to look really, really lovely for you guys at home. There we go. That's our little tear strips done. So now we've got this fun interactive element on our card, but you might think, okay, well, how's this going to work? What we're going to do is we're going to put our foam tape, if I have some, goodness way there. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Does anyone else have those days where you're just like, I cannot see for looking at about half the stuff I'm trying to find? And you know what? I don't even have an excuse now. I literally spent the whole weekend having a massive sort out. Auntie Carla was involved. I went and collected all the show boxes because since coming back from maternity leave, the show boxes had been stored at our lockup. So I thought, no, come on, Oxbury, you need your show boxes. You need everything on hand. So Carla helped me get everything over to my studio, my craft room and things. And I had a massive sort out. So everything was nice and arranged and neat and tidy. So I don't even have an excuse that the studio's in a mess and I can't find anything. It is probably because it's too tidy. Organised chaos is what we like, isn't it, as crafters? So here I'm adding a little bit of foam tape. This is 1mm foam tape, and I'm just doubling it up so it's 2mm and trimming it down top and bottom, making sure I leave the cut lines free from that die cut we've just included to create a little bit of lift like so. Okay, so when it comes to then tearing, you can get your finger underneath and pull that tab really easily. Carla's here. She says, hey gorgeous, I got in a fight with a duvet cover, so I'm late. Do you know what, Carla, I wouldn't expect anything less from you today. I've heard all about your adventures with getting your mattresses and beds and all sorts of things sorted, so it comes as no surprise you've been in a fight with a duvet cover. And to anyone that has mastered the art of putting on a duvet cover, please do let us know, because it's not an easy feat, is it really? To the inside of our little reveal, where we're going to pop our sentiment surprise, we're going to pop that down with a little bit of finger lift tape. Again, we want it flat so it doesn't interfere with the mechanisms, if you like, of the tear strip there. And we're just going to centralise it to the rectangle shape, just like so. Surprise! It's really sweet, isn't it? So when it comes to tearing that away, you'll then have that wonderful surprise element underneath. I'm going to mount the itzer on top, again, just with a little bit of foam, just so it's lifted from the base. And I've used these little ones from the reveal card as a diamond. We can obviously use them in the other orientation and have them as a square, but the choice is yours. Let's now stick that reveal panel on, like so. Of course, if you were doing something where you'd popped something inside the reveal panel, you would then sort of adjust your cutting so it makes more like a pocket on a card rather than a complete tearaway strip, because obviously you don't want your surprise falling out of your tear strip panel. So I'm just aligning that top and bottom, trying to get that even, like so, before I take away the foam. And that's created a really fun interactive panel on the background of our card. Okay, so that's kind of the basics. That is essentially the card base ready to go. Carl says, I did the whole thing inside out, ended up looking like a ghost in a fight with the mattress, have given it up as a bad job. Do you know what? I don't blame you. Do what Pam is doing. Pam from our DT has just joined us. Hannah, late stopping for a coffee. There you go. Have a little cup of coffee, Carla. Sit back and just have 5 minutes. I think that's the best thing to do. So to decorate our card, we are, of course, going all about the new arrival die cut. You see how beautiful? You've got that little frame, that little circle where you can nestle your little mice in. Mummy with her pram pushing her beloved baby, and Daddy just behind with all the bags. You know, babies, oh my goodness, how much stuff do they take? But have a little fun with positioning. So have the wheel of the pram coming over the edge of the circle. It gives you that idea that that mouse is in movement, that that pram is pushing forward. Have the daddy mouse sitting just over the reveal strip there. So again, it's joining those layers together. And that in its own right would look really pretty. Perhaps you want to put some bunting on here. Perhaps you want to put some ribbons, some pearls, whatever it is you use for embellishments on your cards. However, I got a little bit waylaid and I decided to play with a few die cuts, because obviously we've got things that, you know, a little nod to what the card is about. We have our Gypsophilia die cuts, both in the decoupage layers and the full layers here. We've got that in 2 colorways already. So we've got it in the original colorway, which is more of sort of the darker brown. And then you've got the lighter tones, which are part of the Crafty Little Things collection. Again, 2 more free downloads that you could be playing with to start adding in interest to your design. So I'm not going to stick the circles in the square. What I'm going to do first is position the extras that I'm going to use. I'm going to have a rough idea of where they're going to go, and I'm going to adjust them as such. But I'm going to start using all these pretty florals as tuck-ins. So it might be that I have the whole 1 sprig in the background, and I think that looks fantastic. So really what you've got there, because it's such an open die design, it's going to look really, really pretty to break up that space in the background. So from there we're going to start building. So I'm just going to use some white glue. I'm going to use my Pinflair bookbinding glue. Come on, you can tell it's well loved. There's not much left in this little pot now. I'm going to switch that out onto my desk. And I'm going to use one of our Carnation glue applicators. Okay, these are great for adding glue to really, really small little spots and getting the placement just done so right. So here I've got my Gypsophilia, or baby's breath, positioned. I'm then going to go in with the white glue and the applicator and just glue little areas like so, to have that die flat against the background of my card, butting right up against the mats and layers. Okay, it's all about positioning. So if you put things on a card and have it right up or even overlapping the mats and layers, it gives a really full effect to your card. It makes it feel like your design is literally bursting out of the frames, and it gives you this sense of placement. It gives you this sense of design. Again, we're just going to check how that's sitting, and we're going to go in with perhaps just a few sprigs of the darker towards the underside of the mouse. So again, it's just lining up. It's just looking at these things, these layers, and thinking, right, how do I want my finished card to look? In what areas am I going to add design? In what areas do I need to add a few little die cuts and things? But you're never ever limited with Carnation die cuts. You don't have to use them in their entirety. You can snip them down and use them any which way you like, which I think is a really, really lovely aspect, especially when it comes to crafting, because you do want your designs to be unique. So for this side, we're just balancing what we've already laid down previously with another little area. So it's all about these tuck-ins. It's all about building that design around the background of your card. So for the other side, I want a few little sprigs in this corner as well. So essentially you're framing that reveal panel. So again, I'm just going to snip away a few more little flowers from this Gypsophilia. Snip, snip, snip. And have that as a tuck-in on the other side. Looking for my glue applicator. And again, notice I'm just popping the glue on the heads of those flowers and then smoothing it along as well. Oh, Hannah, don't drop it on the card. You haven't even finished yet. There. So by adding these points in, remember, we've said and talked through in previous Facebook Lives how by creating triangles of things, you draw the eye into specific areas. So here we have 3 of the Gypsophilia drawing the eye into the centre where your reveal is. Let's tuck in a few other Gypsophilia colours, because I think the other side needs a little bit of the darker shade as well. Just taking my scissors and trimming away little aspects of the design, and then offering it up and just seeing how it looks before we commit to sticking. Okay. Essentially, really, this whole demo is going to be just taking a look, just adding, layering. Some areas are going to be more full, some areas are going to be lighter. It's about layering up and just finding that sort of happy medium for what works for you, okay? Essentially, these Facebook Lives are just to give you an idea of how you can work and how you can design things as well. A few more little sprigs of the lighter colour, because it's all about balance. So I'm going to snip those ones away. And then anything I've snipped away, I'm just going to go in and round with my scissors. And this just gives you a really professional finish, so it doesn't look like you've got any hard lines or edges in there. Anything where I'm not snipping away, these are areas that are then going to tuck underneath the designs. They're not going to be seen anyway. A little bit more white glue, like so, just in areas. Dawn says, this is definitely my next collection as I don't have anything like it, and I'm also going to be a nana for the first time in a few months, so I need to snap it up. Oh, congratulations, Dawn. That's so lovely. It is so lovely hearing about sort of new babies and new life in the world. I think, you know, it's particularly the last year, 2 years, there's been such a struggle when you think about what's been going on in the world. It's so nice to have positive, isn't it? It's so lovely to hear of positive things coming out of the difficult times we've been in. Okay, I'm really loving how that's looking with my triangle. I do feel like I need a little snippet here just to balance it a little bit more, and then thus creating another triangle on this side to focus in from my little mice. So I think a little sprig of the Gypsophilia there would look really pretty as well, but just something small, nothing over the top, nothing to detract from the overall look of what we're going for. So again, just snipping away. And that sort of gives you the idea that behind this card there's this whole wonderful bloom of flowers, this whole bunch of flowers going on, and the design is kind of nestled, if you like, on the inside of the flowers. Amanda says, Hannah, what is the difference between normal pin flare white glue and the bookbinding glue? There's no difference. The white glue I'm using is actually the pin flare bookbinding glue, so that's my glue of choice when it comes to this sort of flat layer creation, because it sticks like a dream. Viv says, do you know when the glue applicators will be back in stock, Hannah? No, I'm very sorry, Viv. I didn't realise they had been out of stock. If anyone from the office is watching, maybe you could hop on and just let us know when the glue applicators will be making an appearance again on the website. Maggie says, what a lovely idea to add baby's breath. Maggie, it's one of those things that Carnation do so well. And, you know, when it comes to language of flowers and things like that, it's not obvious. It's not over the top. This particular card creation that we're going with doesn't sort of overtly say baby. But once you start looking into the meanings behind the flowers, once you start realising, your recipient is going to think, wow, you know, the crafter who's created this for me has gone to so much effort and thought with their design, because it's little things like that, the inclusions of florals that actually have a meaning, you know, behind them. It's just really, really pretty. So I think that's enough for the moment on my Gypsophilia, but it, you know, just give a fluffy background. But I wanted to add some colour. I wanted to step away from the pale background and start adding little pops, which will create added interest. So again, I've taken, and these feature in quite a few of my demonstrations actually, I've taken a few die cuts from the arrangement maker, which is part of Fresh Blooms, these mini kind of flower designs and leaves and petals and stalks and things like that, just to add in a little pop of colour without being too over the top. So whenever we come to lay down flowers into our design, we do want to give them a little bit of shape and dimension. So the leaves, this fern for example, you can just twist and turn over your pokey tool to give it a little bit of height. Same with these little sweet pea designs. Again, think about the recipient, think about the meaning that you're going with. You know, perhaps you want to have your reveal card, if you like, if you are doing that, or your birth announcement card with just a little nod to whether the baby is a boy or a girl. You don't have to, but I think sweet pea is kind of a fun design to do that with, isn't it? The little white daisy-like flowers, we can take our dense foam mat and our ball tools and round them so you lift the petals from the centre, giving them height, shape and dimension. It then gives them a much more three-dimensional look. So just going to ball those off. I don't know how many I'm going to use. It's going to be one of those, it will grow and come together as it does. Tulips, you know, sweet little things like that. Just using a smaller ball tool to round those petals off. We don't have to, as I say, we don't have to use them all. It's just so we've got choice. And of course, it's always nice to spend a rainy afternoon cutting, shaping, storing your die cuts even in special ways. So if you do have one of those last minute, oh my goodness, I've got a card, birthday coming up and I haven't got a card, you've got everything then on hand to enjoy quickly making a card, putting something fun together for a loved one. Okay, so I'm going to round off a few of these flowers just so I've got enough to play with. And again, we're going to start placing them just into our design. That one's lost its sticky between the layers. You see I'm using the mirrored vignettes and that little one's just pulled apart. So I'm just going to use a little bit of white glue just to stick those two together again. I normally use like a spray adhesive when I come to stick the two sides of my mirrored vignettes together, and I think I need some new spray adhesive because obviously it's been a few little months since I've done crafting properly on an industrial scale. Obviously having Ruben and having some time off for maternity, so I think I do need to replace my spray adhesive. Okay, let's pop that little leaf like so. Notice I haven't yet stuck down the elements, the two blocks, the rectangle and the circle. Let's just move my little mices for the minute, because it gives me a little bit more playtime. It gives me a little bit more freedom to adjust the designs as I go. But I can go in and just lace the leaves and things that I'm using in between the layers of the Gypsophilia, because I haven't gone crazy and stuck lots and lots of layers down. And that little sweet pea is very, very sweet. That needs to go in there as well. So once again, placement wise, you're trying to get this sort of sense of the flowers emerging from the background. So I'm tending to put them all in the same orientation, them coming out from that area and then just sitting like so, which I think is very, very sweet. Let's go with a few of these little finer leaves as well. Twist and turn those a little bit, because I think those are going to sit nicely across the background. Remember, these are your die cuts. It's your design. It's how you want to put these together at the end of the day. It might be that you want to go less is more. It might be that you want to go all out. You can change it up. All I'm doing is offering you a few different ways to use these. Then it's up to you on how you wish to create them. The Gypsophilia works beautifully as it would do in a traditional bouquet and a real sort of florist bouquet as your filler for your background. From that point, we can start adding in our flowers. Remember, overlap them. In nature, everything would be overlapped. Everything would have, you know, a little bit more intricacy when it comes to the styling and the placement. Same with this little tulip. That's going to just be stuck along the stem like so. And then we can tuck that down just so it's peeping its head over the edge. You see how you're filling those little gaps. Everything is placed for a reason. Everything begins giving you this wonderful full look to your designs. These long leaves work beautifully in the backgrounds of your designs as well, because they extend the bouquet up and out. I'm going to trim that one down a little bit, just so I haven't got as much stem to try and tuck in beneath the Gypsophilia. But just lifting and tucking like so creates that sense of placement. I'm going to leave that one as is for the moment, because the temptation is to get carried away with one side and not then fill in for the other sides as well. And whenever you're crafting, do try and mirror whatever it is you're doing with a little bit of added extras, just so it keeps everything on balance. I tend to pop one thing, then go to the other side and keep building like that, so you do get this sense of well, balance, if you like. I have just said that, but you guys know what I mean. So leaves as well, I'm coming out this time from this particular little corner, leaves in like so, and then I think I'm going to go, what am I going to go with? Should we go with, let's go with some of these little white ones. I don't want anything too heavy on that side. We're not going to go too crazy, just enough to give us a little bit of added interest. Oh yeah, those white ones work so well, don't they? With the little yellow spot centres are so pretty. I think I do want a pink on that side as well, just to level it off. Let's go, yeah, let's tuck that one behind the white flowers, just so it's sort of not too big. It's broken up then by the white flowers over the top. And again, a little bit of white glue on the background. And I want that one to sit just behind the two flowers like so. Yeah, just a little nod to what's going on in that corner. Nothing too over the top, just checking alignment and teasing anything back into place where we need to. There we go. Let's just check if we've got any more questions. Dawn said, oh, Hannah, thank you. To say I'm excited is a bit of an understatement. Everyone says having grandchildren is amazing. Yeah, I think my mum would definitely agree with you there, Dawn. She is loving little Reuben. Oh, goodness me, Dawn says it was a bit of a shock at first, laugh out loud, but I can't wait. My mum is chuffed to bits at being a great grandparent again, too. Can't wait till we're having the gender reveal around Christmas time. Oh, lovely. Having it at Christmas as well. That's so special, because it's such the perfect time of year for babies as well, isn't it? Because it is all about children. Oh, goodness me, Elaine. Dawn, last year I became a nanny after for my daughter. Oh, bless her. The daughter's baby was born at 26 weeks, weighing under 2 pounds. Oh, goodness me. He was on oxygen for 6 months, but he's home now. He's a beautiful boy, and I FaceTime every day. And he can now say Nan. Oh, that's lovely, Elaine. Goodness me, that must have been such a scary time for you, but my goodness, so fulfilling when you can finally have your babies home as well. That's lovely. That's really lovely. So I'm going in, adding just a few more little green leaves. Again, green is all about new starts, rebirth, new beginnings, that sort of thing. So again, great sentiments for babies cards, new arrival cards. I think sometimes the temptation, quite rightly, because it is a bit of fun, is to get lost in this sort of pink and blue world of babies. But actually, it's nice to go so much more than that, isn't it? It's nice to include our yellows and our greens and something a little bit more neutral for our designs as well. So I've added in just these little sprigs to mirror the little sprigs I've popped on the smaller areas like so. I think at this stage I'm going to stick the panels in place just so it gives me a basis, and then if I want to add more, I can absolutely do so. That's a wonderful thing about Carnation. So for the circle, I've added foam tape. Just the back. It's 1mm foam tape, so I've only added 1 layer. Didn't need much, just enough clearance for those flowers and leaves and things like that to sit underneath. And orientation, when you're working with polka dots, is something to keep in mind as well. So if I bring this up to camera, you'll see. If you're working on your background, try and keep your dots in the same orientation. If you sort of move them, the upper layers then start jarring with the layers below, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like the end of the world or anything like that, but just taking that extra bit of time to have the placement and the orientation of the dots in the same placement and orientation as the dots on the backing paper means your design just works a little bit more cohesively. Everything just works in a little bit more of a what do I want to say? It just flows a little bit better. Same with the panel there. You'll notice the dots are in the same orientation, and if I can, I'm going to try and align them so the dots carry from one line over to the other with no break in between. Again, that just makes everything a little bit more easy on the eye, and it makes everything make sense. If I had them sort of like so you're going dots and then you're jumping up or jumping down to the next row of dots, it's a little bit jarring on the eye. So if we have them aligned, it just is a little bit more easygoing. So on this one, you can see I've gone down on the foam tape. I've got 3 mil worth of foam tape on the side that's going to stick to the panel, but then we need to account for the extra foam we've got on this side. Wherever the panel is going to be stuck to the circle is going to be 1 mil foam tape, and then 3 at the top where it sits back onto the card base. So just have a little think again about placement, about where your panels are sitting, what's overlapping with what, and where you need to build your foam tape. You'll notice with all our demos, both myself and Carla do it, we put extra tape in at whatever height is needed just to bolster it. So you haven't got sort of saggy bits on your card. That little middle bit's not going to fall down into the rest of the card. Having that tape on the back just bolsters that area like so. So again, just testing that out. I'm going to take one edge, as you've seen me do with the finger lift tape, and then have that over the side of the card like so. Just tucking that in, checking the alignment with the dots to make sure everything's aligned nicely. And once I'm happy that it's aligned both sort of against the edge of the card and along the dots, we can go in and pull the foam tape away to stick it in place. That leaves us then hands-free to take away the rest of the tape here, and then the extra high tape at the top like so, and the rest of the tape, so the bolstering tape if you like, oh come away, there we go, is going to be left with the backing on, so it then doesn't need to be stuck down. It can just work as a little bit of a bolster. So my panels are now in place, and looking at that, I really like how that's coming together. Always take a step back, have a little look, and just decide whether you want to add a little bit more. I feel it needs just a touch, just a tiny touch more. There's a little bit of a gap here, which is drawing the eye. I feel like I need a little bit of colour on this side, and perhaps even up here, and then a little bit here as well. It ends up being more instinct, and it's also personal preference when it comes to what you like designing with. But I think a few little sweet peas in areas, because they're not too over the top, they're not too big, they work quite nicely as little tuck-ins. That would be nice. So we'll go with a little bit of white glue on those. Lift and tuck. And you see, it's just adding texture. It just adds a little bit of colour, but it's not taking away from the Gypsophilia we've got going on. Here, I think I'm going to add in those 2 little sprigs of sweet peas I've got left over, but I'm just going to trim them so we haven't got those stalks on there, and then just round that off as well. So now you've got this sort of little bit more sparse design on the leaves. Trim that down, and again we can go in and stick that in place. I wondered why I was sticking. I'd already dropped that in the glue, hadn't I? And then just align and stick like so. So again, you're repeating those colours, you're repeating those patterns. Now for down here, let's think, what do I want to include? I've got lots and lots of die cuts in front of me that I can go in. I think let's go in with perhaps a tulip. Yeah, I think that would look quite sweet. Again, trimming down that tail and adding just a little bit of glue to tuck, like so. and then tucking the head of that tulip underneath. So again, you're taking away the obviousness of having lots and lots of red down here, but it works quite nicely. I think we could do with another set of little leaves as well. They'd look quite nice coming out, and just adding in a little bit of a longer line to that area there. Just like so. So basically we're building this whole sort of floral frame just as a background. I mean, this is where Carnation come into play so beautifully, because the focus of the card is going to be your new arrival die set. But my goodness, isn't it fun to take some time to then go in and add a really pretty background as well. So you see there, I'm taking my poker tool to lift the flower and just poke the leaves underneath. Again, just adding a little bit of fun. I still feel like it needs green here, so I can use the excess that I've just cut away. Remember, nothing's wasted with Carnation. It can always come into play for another die cut or another design, and trim down. Sam says, I think I can hear Ruben in the background. You probably can. He's with Daddy today, and yeah, he was in the living room. I think they've just gone upstairs actually. He's been chattering away like mad. He's such a little puppy. He's 12 weeks old now, and my goodness, the time has absolutely flown by. But he's doing all sorts. I mean, you know, from being this tiny little speck of a baby that we brought home from hospital 12 weeks ago, he's just got his own little personality. He's laughing, he's joking, well, not joking, he finds everything hilarious. But he's, you know, just adorable, just the best little thing ever. Oh, actually, hold on. It's like a little ninja. Let me try and do, what am I trying to do, that one? Do you want to see him? Here he is. Is he asleep? Oh, he's not asleep.
Dozing off.
Roo, say hello. Can you say hello? You wonder what on earth's going on. Who is Mummy talking to? Hey? Who is Mummy talking to?
About to doze off.
He's about to sleep. That's Simon, my husband, as well, for anyone that doesn't know. Normally you're behind the scenes, aren't you, my love?
Yep. And now I'm behind the scenes.
So that's our little Reuben. Thank you. Oh, isn't he cute? Isn't he adorable? He's so sleepy as well. So sweet. So he's gone off with Daddy again, and we're almost at the end of this little card. A few little more tuck-ins, a few little more leaves. That little area is still drawing my attention. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, he's a little poppet, isn't he? He's a little sweetie. I think I might, this is where crafting comes into its own, isn't it? Because it's your choice. Because you can download and cut as many vignettes as you like, time and time again. If you've even created an account with us, you can go in and, you know, save all your vignettes to your account. They will be in the My Account section of our website. They are there, they are yours. Print them as many times and enjoy working with them. It means when it comes to designs like this, where it is a little bit more organic, you can enjoy going in and adding more, you know. It's easy enough adding more. It's not so easy taking away, which is why we work in layers and build in layers. But do think about adding in these little extras. So here we've got another little sprig. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it in, but I'm going to try, of the Gypsophilia. I'm just going to layer that over, come on you, go in, over some of the florals that we've popped down. So instantly, where we've built the background, then the midground, and then into the foreground, it's all tying it together. Everything then draws back, and it looks like it's meant to be, because you've got those layers going on. It's just working so well together. Let's take off that little head. That's probably going to be easy if I snip that one there. Similarly, let's tuck in a really tiny little sprig of Gypsophilia just to draw that background in. Let's snip down that tail, it's a bit long. Just to draw that layer in. Have it coming over the edge of the mats and layers as well. If you want to, you can absolutely do that. But it just alludes to the fact that you're adding in detail, you're adding in design, and everything's kind of thought through. Let's snip away these little white flowers too, because these are going to look really sweet, just popped on top. I'm getting to the stage with these where these are so small, I'm going to use my tweezers just to place, and also just to hide any edges and stalks and things like that. Just beautifully. Oh, you're not sticking. Oh, you are sticking now. One last little white flower for this side. And it may seem crazy, like building such a big spray of flowers and a big bouquet of flowers using such detailed tiny die cuts, but actually there's a really lovely feel about doing it this way. It gives you a really natural look, and because you are adding so much texture and so much design, it just draws the eye beautifully. I think possibly one more little flower, and I will have to say that's enough, because otherwise I'll get carried away and be almost titivating this for ages and ages and ages to come. But let's just pop a little bit of white on there, and then just draw that flower also into that area and that section there. So again, you've got that triangle working like so. Having flowers escaping from a background, having flowers building from a background is a lovely way to build in detail without detracting from the clean lines you've got on the panels of the front of your card. So I think I'm happy with the amount of flowers I've got going on. I think it's time, don't you, for Mr. and Mrs. Mouse to make an appearance. The mouse that was styled on Simon and me for our new arrivals die set. Mrs. Mouse, Mr. Mouse, Baby Mouse, you know, the whole family's here. Now, let's just use our ball tool. So I'm going to use 2 sizes there, and we're going to round off Mrs. Mouse's tummy and the pram with the largest ball tool, and same again with Mr. Mouse, where they're going to work down in ball tool sizes. So you see, the smaller we go, the more tight the rounding is. So I'm using the artwork on the mirrored vignettes just to use the placement. Things like her little ear here, things like her little bow, they can be shaped out further. Centers of the wheels, the little carry cases and things like that, okay? It's just about picking your areas where you want even more exaggeration and roundedness, and using your ball tool to really hone in on those areas, okay? That's then adding in texture. It's pushing forward the design as just like so. It just makes it so, so pretty. It gives it such a more realistic and 3-dimensional look. And look how, you know, all of these are from different sets, all of these are from different collections, but actually, don't they work so beautifully together? So before we place our little mouse down, we're just going to tease her little head forward, tease his little head forward, so you get a point of difference between his little round tummy and his head. And we're going to go in with our Pinflair glue gel, so our 3-dimensional glue gel as placement for these. Mrs. Mouse first, just in case Daddy Mouse does need to overlap, and we're going to concentrate our Pinflair on her tummy and on her head. So the areas where you've got the most amount of rounding, you then mirror that with the most amount of Pinflair. And then same again on the pushchair, or the pram, should I say, just like so. And remember what we said, let's just take my tweezers so I don't get Pinflair glue gel everywhere. For her, we're going to align her with the dots. So it's almost like a grounding device. Again, it's all about making sure the eye isn't fighting against the background. But I am having that pushchair, that wheel of the pram, just coming over the edge. So you create that idea of movement. Mr. Mouse the same. Turn him over and Pinflair on his tummy and on his head as well. Try not to dip my syringe in the Pinflair. But he is going to be just overlapping on the reveal card there, and he's a little bit lower down than Mrs. Mouse, and then we can just tease them into place. So again, Pinflair is great because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. It just allows you your placement, it just allows you that sort of storytelling, and then I'm just using my tweezers to tease them into place. So there's a little bit of space between Mr. Mouse, like so, and Mrs. Mouse with her pushchair. Okay, so there's a little bit of white space between the two. Don't they look adorable? It's such a lovely little story, this one. But, me being me, I can never finish things just like so. How about a bow? I spotted this when I was tidying out my show boxes, I call them, with all my different vignettes and die cuts and things like that in. This is the half bow from Moments in Time collection. And doesn't it work so well with the colour of the background, the backing paper, the free download? Because Carnation is all done in-house, because Carnation is all created from artwork, and everything works together, all the collections work together as well. So for our little bow, we are going to take our half bow element of the die cut and use a poker tool just to twist and shape the bow over. We're going to do that on both sides. So we're using our thumb just to curl the paper basically, and round off the paper like so. Then the two sides fold into the middle to create your bow. Okay, that is the same for all of our half bow designs. So no matter which collection, I think there's one in Perfect Day as well, which is slightly larger. That is how the half bows work. You take both sides and fold them into the middle. Now again, I'm using my Pinflair white glue, my Pinflair bookbinding glue, to stick the middles down because it's nice strong adhesive. I'm going to hold my tweezers there as well, just for a sec, so that grabs. Thanks, Hannah and Simon. It's a lovely treat to see your gorgeous boy Ruben. Thank you, Sam. That's lovely. Pam, yeah, they do grow up so quickly. He is huge now compared to when we brought him home. But it's lovely. It is lovely to see. His little personality each day is coming out more and more, which is just wonderful. Okay, so sticking both sides, layering on top of one another, and then just giving that time for the glue to grab. The background, again, really pretty. I mean, it just adds those extra little embellishments. Perhaps it is a ribbon bow you want to pop on here. Perhaps it is a little crystal embellishment. But it just gives you a little idea. As I say, these Facebook Lives are just done. Yeah, you can copy them exactly if you want to. It's totally up to you. But you know what? It's also fun to bring on your own interpretation of the designs. Now I'm going to stick. I was trying to just decide which way I was going to stick that then. So indecisive sometimes. Is anyone else like that? Goodness me. And then bookbinding glue either side. And I'm going to align this along the centre of the background here. Just gives you the look of an even full, more full bow. So just aligning it with the middle. Come on, you. And just holding that in place whilst the glue takes. And that's fun, you know, it gives you this three-dimensional look to what is essentially your paper. It's nice having your sculpted paper designs. Same again, a little bit of bookbinding glue on the back of this area, just to stick that to that top corner of the reveal panel as well. Let's just place like so. So again, you've got these extra layers. That bow, because it's hanging over the edge of the reveal panel, is then joining your layers underneath. It's just these little things, these little ideas where things spill over the sides and things like that. It just brings into foreground the idea of design. Jan says, I've received my happy post today. My Colour of Autumn's dies have arrived. Fab service as always. Well, that goes out to our wonderful warehouse team, who are incredible when it comes to dispatch, because they know, as well as we know, if we have ordered crafty treats, we want to be crafting with them as soon as possible. Pam says, beautiful card, Hannah, love these collections. Thank you, Pam. That's really sweet. And I have to say, Pam, I know you watched the Facebook Live we did for the show preview, should I say, for Colour of Autumn, but your cards were absolutely gorgeous for that, really inspirational. So a huge thank you to you and the rest of the DT for those. Whilst I was sorting out, I mean, I should sort out things more often because it really gives me a chance to delve back through collections we've done. I found this little beauty. This butterfly is from a die set called Butterflies and Bows, actually. And again, the colour just works so spectacularly with all the other collections. So on this card alone, I'm not going to count the Bundles of Joy because I have just used the reveal and the sentiments and things like that. So it's technically not a vignette I've used. But I've got Moments in Time, Fresh Blooms, and now I think this one was from, let me just check, Full of Love. I think this one's from, yeah, Full of Love collection. That's 3 different collections at 3 totally different times, but look how well they work together. So for this little butterfly, you notice I just slipped his wings up So he's on a mirrored vignette, so the background is just as beautifully coloured. It's not going to detract in any way because you haven't got any white bits showing. And I'm just going to glue along the centre of the body there, again using that glue applicator and my tweezers. And that little butterfly is going to be nestled between the flowers there. So again, you're joining the two sprigs of flowers. But he's going to be floating off the card. Because he is the same colour as the background, he's not over the top noticeable. But again, do you notice? Bow, butterfly, mice. You've created that triangle. Everything then works in your threes and everything works together beautifully. I think I'm really happy with that card design. You know, I am tempted to add in a few little sprigs of Gypsophilia around the sentiment and things like that. But actually, I think it's quite nice to leave the flowers in the background and then have that wonderful white space on top to give you all of that free space to enjoy your new arrival die set in that lovely new colourway in the yellow. Okay, let me just turn the camera around so you can see me. Hello guys. There we have our finished card design featuring the new arrival. So something a little bit different. Yes, we spent a lot of time building the background. Yes, we spent a lot of time talking through the mats and layers when the feature of this card is your new arrival die set. But by having all that detail in the background, it is beautifully framing and showing off the new arrival die set, because then you have all this white space, allowing it and giving it space to breathe as well. Don't forget that new arrival die set, so Mr. and Mrs. Mouse, is the deal of the day today. So it's our special deal of the day on our website, 23% off. And please do consider going on to the deal of the day, because you've got your two free to download colorways in the yellow and the green. They're new additions for this particular die set, new colorways for this die set, and they are free today. They're 100% off today, and that offer will end after 24 hours. There will be a new deal of the day tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed seeing how we built that little card, how that came together. It's been so lovely hearing about all the different babies that are arriving and all the lovely proud nannies in group who are looking forward to welcoming their bundles of joy. Jan says, thank you so much for your fabulous collections, demonstrations, customer service, all of which is second to none. Jan, thank you so much. It means so much to hear from you guys that you enjoy the service, you like the demonstrations, and it's lovely to see your makes in group. If you do decide to make this or similar or take techniques from this, please do consider sharing your posts and your designs in our Facebook group, Carnation Crafters. I'll pop a little link up after we finish the live. Our next show on Create and Craft is tomorrow at 5:15. It's the last show in the run for Colours of Autumn. It will be Carla at the helm for that one. I'm back on Saturday at 1:30, and I'm going to go with 5:15 as well, 1:30 and 5:15, with a back to air show for You're Too Kind, another stunning collection. And then myself and Carla, well, there's another Facebook Live planned for next week, and then myself and Carla, when are we back for the next launch? I think it's next Friday, Wild Garden, so a new die collection coming there, not next Friday, the Friday after. And we will pop links up, we will pop posts up and sneak peeks and things like that. Thank you so much for joining me for today. I'll pop a little photo up on group if you do want to sort of analyse this card further, take elements from it and create it in your own way too. I can't wait to see them. Until next time, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you then. Bye everyone.